all backwards today. For 15 and negative 3. I'm going to show y'all a little trick.
How'd you get 7? Oh, my bad.
Okay. You see how this one, the bigger number comes first and the smaller number comes second? When you put your next two, put your bigger number first and your smaller number second. Just kind of keep your order going the same.
All right.
15 BC minus Yes.
Okay, so you have these two groups. Now what do we have to look for? A greatest common factor. What's in the first group?
7.
Not 5. 7A. Which leaves you with
7C.
5C minus D.
Plus.
What's common in the second group? 3B. Which leaves us with
5C minus B.
5C minus D, which was the point.
Oh my God.
It's the whole point of grouping. That means that these now have a common factor of 5C minus D. So when I factored that out, I'm left with
5C
7A
plus 3.
plus 3B.
This is
Excuse me, not a plus sign.
parentheses.
There you go. Factoring by grouping. Don't really worry about the letters. Just try to get your coefficients that are grouped together. All right? What is this? We're factoring. Is it greatest common factor? No. Is this a trinomial? Nope.
Difference of perfect squares.
It is the difference of two perfect squares.
5x minus 6y.
You factor the difference of perfect squares, you get two groups that look exactly the same except for one's plus, one's minus. So what are factors of 25x squared that are exactly the same? And 36y squared.
6.
And you're done.
Oh, that's so easy.
I know. Difference of perfect squares, I think, is the absolute easiest form of factoring.
What was that?
Whoa.
You have a question? Okay. This is a trinomial. Now, especially when you have a 6 in front or a number in front of the x squared, first make sure there's no greatest common factor because that will make life so much easier. But there's not. So, I showed y'all a method with the little cross multiplying thing. We first look for factors of 6x squared and write them on top of each other. Then we look for factors of 20. It will matter what order you put them in. Because when you cross multiply, you want certain things to come up. If you don't get it right the first time, then you flip it. Try it again. No, just flip one, not the other. Okay. All right, now some of you on this test this is why you messed up. When you said 4 times 2x is 8x, you stuck the 8x over here. Okay, and that messed your signs up because the order that we put them in tells us specifically which sign goes where. Coming from top to bottom, put your answer directly underneath that number you came to. And 3x times 5 is 15x. Can we remember, this means that those two terms should be added to get 23x. Can you add them to get 23?
Yes.
It really didn't matter. All right, and if they're both positive, then it's a plus 23. Now, both of these signs are the same, so they're both plus. But if they weren't, the first sign that you run across goes in the first group. if you're writing those things in the right order. The second sign goes in the second group. So that trinomial factors down to this, 3x plus 4 times 2x plus 5. Yes, I sure can.
Never learned how to do that other one. What's that one called? The one we just did?
This one, trinomial.
What the name is?
Wait, what are we doing now?
I'm doing when their signs aren't the same.
That's.
Okay, there is no greatest common factor, so we're going to do our little thing.
2x and 2x.
Okay, we'll try 2x times 2x and 5 and 2, all right? This is 4x, 10x. Do these subtract to give us 3?
No.
No. If I change the order of the 2 and the 5, will it make a difference? No, because these are the same. So let's try 4 and 1.
4 and 1. With 4 on the top.
Those are
So you're saying I need a 4 here and a 1 here?
Yes.
yeah.
I agree with you. Because now I have 5x and 8x. And those do subtract to give me 3. Now I want negative 3, so what's got to be negative?
8.
The 8 has to be negative. Think of rules of adding signed numbers. If you add unlike signs, the answer gets the sign of the larger, right?
See,
Good job.
like that, the 5, which one would you know which would be positive, which would be negative?
Because of the fact that I want this to be
Yeah.
negative 3.
Right. I just talked at the bottom, like how would you determine which 4x, 5?
Oh, here?
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this. If you are multiplying across and dropping that answer directly underneath, okay, then the first sign in this goes in the first group. And the second sign goes in the second group. So this factors to 4x plus 5 times x minus 2. Yes?
What is the point of the greatest common factor? Again?
It can be a trinomial.
I just have to do like 6.
You just have to look to see if there's something that they all contain. Like if this was 4x squared minus 6x minus 10, all of those can be divided by 2. You would take a 2 out first,
Right.
and then you'd go through and finish factoring.
It's easier.
It's just 2 steps.
Besides, what do we do? Wednesday? Do we have a review Wednesday?
Yes.
Well, can you tell me?
It's online. Okay. In simplifying this fraction, if you remember, these were the ones where you had to list out your restrictions in the denominator. You don't have to worry about your restrictions on the test. The instructions say, it's not that hard.
I know, those are easy.
The instructions say assume that no denominator equals 0. Okay? So all you've got to do is simply, how do you work this?
I don't know. Just divide.
Oh, no.
You factor out both of them.
I don't know what's the only you tell me.
Gotta find
You
that
cancel?
answer.
You factor and you cancel. If you don't have to worry about restrictions, you factor and you cancel. In the numerator, these are very simple to factor. There's no term in front of the x squared. X times x is the only thing that's going to give us x squared. 2 times 1 is the only thing that's going to give us 2. But what signs do they need to have that when I subtract, I get a plus 1 in the middle? Very good.
And that's for
That's the first one. The bottom factors to this. X times x is x squared. 5 times 1 gives me 5.
They're both negative.
They're both negative. Very good. That's a big minus sign.
So it's x plus
The reason we did